long blood between me and you.
Look, has a branding iron! Fire in the eye!
Straight edge means I am better than you.
Why do the Extreme Horsemen hold all the gold? Oh my God! It's a hell of a broomstick!
Oh, no, no, no!
Witnessing pro wrestling is nothing but a fight.
We will run things around here.
Hello and welcome to the Pro Wrestling Personified Podcast. I'm your host, Louis Carlin, and we're part of the Tap Out Wrestling Podcast Network. And you can catch me on Twitter at PWSOTH. And we're back again this week. Actually, we got a new format. It's no longer just Impact Wrestling. We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff, and usually I'm by myself, but I'm not going to be by myself anymore. Please help me welcome co-host and good friend, Mr. Luke Dorsch. Luke, welcome back, man.
Thank you, Louis. It is great to be back. It's been a while since I've been on this show. Nothing pleases me more than talking graps with you on a nice Saturday night. Yeah. I'm excited for this new format. It should be a lot of fun, man.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to change things up a little bit, and I know it was always just talk about Impact Wrestling, but I was like, you know what, there's other promotions I want to talk about. So I just figured change it up a bit, got in contact with you. I know we haven't done a show in a while, like you said, but glad you said, okay, I'll come back, as you know, we had fun in the past and we're going to have fun in the future. So I'm looking forward to it, man. Me
too.
All right, man. So, like I said, it's been a while. So what have you been up to? What you been up to? It's been a while since we spoke. I know you're not feeling too well today, but, so what you been up to the last couple of weeks, couple of months?
Well, nothing really drastic changed in my life. Still working the same job. Still work for state government. Still here with my kid doing the single parent bit. Okay. Went to a couple ROH shows. Went to a couple local indie shows. Haven't really seen too much wrestling live. I went to ROH the other weekend. They were here for Glory by Honor, and I went to the Best in the World pay-per-view when they were in town back in I think it was May. May this year they were in town. Yeah, those are the only two shows I've been to besides our local promotion here in my state.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I've been to a few Impact shows. They had the big Border City Wrestling show was up here, 25th anniversary, huge show. I met David Arquette, RJ City. I have a picture taken with Sammy Callahan, Petey.
I saw
Petey
that.
Williams. It was a great night. Shook hands with Eli Drake and Johnny Impact. It was just Tommy Dreamer, another guy I wanted to meet for a while. I met Tommy Dreamer there. Got my picture taken with him. So it was a really fun night. I'm like in my 40s, but I was like a 10-year-old again, just running around to the wrestlers. Hi, I'm Louis. I'm a big fan of yours. And I'm 20 years older than some of these guys, but I'm a big fan of yours. No, but it was a fun time. It was a fun time. And yeah, getting to shows is always a good thing. Actually, next week I'm going to the Smash Wrestling's Can USA 2018 USA versus Canada women's tournament. So I'm looking forward to that. Tessa Blanchard's on the card. Who else? Sue Young, Allie. So it's gonna be a really good show next week.
Oh, I did get to see Evolve came to my town too, and I got to see one of Matt Riddle's last shows when he worked with Evolve, so that was kind of cool. He got on the mic and thanked the fans. That was a lot of fun, and I don't know if you follow Evolve Wrestling, but they got a lot of good talent there, and that was a pretty cool show. I like Evolve. Yeah,
no, it's well, Matt Riddle's now with NXT, and so is our guy Punishment Martinez. Well, what do you think?
Right.
How do you think Punishment Martinez is going to do? I don't know if that's going to be his name, but how do you think he's going to do in NXT?
I've been saying for years the gimmick they were trying to do with Baron Corbin belonged to Punishment Martinez. I've been saying that for years to anybody that'll listen. And since Baron Corbin's whole gimmick seemed to have changed, I don't really watch the show too often, but I know that he's sort of like in a GM type role on the show now. He's not really the badass, kick-ass kind of guy he once was, but I think they'll try to do something like that with Punishment. I mean, he can work a hell of a lot better than Baron Corbin can, and he's belonged in WWE for a while now, I think, and sharpening up his skills, WWE style at the Performance Center should do him some good. And I wish him all the best. You know, they just keep taking all the best talent from ROH over and over again, but ROH keeps, they trying to keep the lauders full, if you will, with talent. So there's a lot of good talent out there on the indies. So, ROH will bounce back.
Yeah, no, they're not. They'll be fine. It's just, I don't know. It's just like you brought up Baron Corbin. It's a WWE. They do great. Like Baron Corbin, for example, he's a monster in NXT. He's in the ring. The fans start counting and see how many seconds the match is going to last. And he goes to the WWE and he becomes become basically a buffoon. He's a general manager. He's not a general manager type. I don't know why they decided to make him general. That's why I don't really watch WWE anymore, because I can't. I just can't. Bobby Roode is up there. I think he's involved in a tag team with somebody, some young kid. But I don't know.
He's Chad Gable.
Chad Gable. Okay.
Chad Gable. Yeah.
Another
talent. That's a guy that's just fantastic. That everybody thought was just going to light the world on fire. He's got so many skills, and then he's just completely lost up there.
Yeah, he's completely lost. And so is, I don't know. They got to go back to, not that I want to get into too much WWE talk, but it seems like they got to go back to, getting the Undertaker and Shawn Michaels and Triple H to come back. They're going back to the past. They're not really creating any new stars, in my opinion. I don't know if you watch the WWE much. Are there any new stars on the horizon that you could get excited about in the WWE?
I watch NXT regularly still,
Okay.
but the main shows, I don't watch WWE TV. I did catch Raw the other weekend just because my son was actually watching it, and that's the only reason it was on my TV. And no, not really. If it's not Seth Rollins, The Shield, or those kind of guys, you don't really. It's Braun Strowman, The Shield. Ronda Rousey, the show's kind of built around those people, the Bellas and Alexa Bliss, and that's what Raw's built around. And SmackDown's a little bit better, they have it's structured a little bit different, but it's still the same type of thing. It's the same people, getting the push all the time. AJ's still the champ, and I don't even know who holds. I think Jeff Hardy's the U.S. champ. I'm not sure. But yeah, okay. I don't know, man. There's no new stars on the horizon, man, unless they get the new calls from NXT. No new big stars on the horizon. Not since Ronda Rousey.
Okay, I know. Wasn't gonna start with the WWE. I want to start with New Japan, but since we're talking about WWE now, a lot of speculation now. You got Cody Rhodes, Marty Scurll, Adam Page. They're all tweeting that their last Bullet Club shirts are coming out, and everybody, the rumors are running rampant now that they're gonna sign with the WWE, and a lot of people say, they're gonna be great in NXT. First of all, that's total bullshit. They're not going anywhere. First of all, why would they go to NXT? Why would Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks want to go to NXT? It doesn't make any sense. If anything, it would have to be the main roster, but they're not signing with them. The whole thing is that they're forming a new faction. It's going to be called the Elite. This is my opinion. It's going to be called the Elite. They're not going to be in the Bullet Club anymore, but they're not going to the WWE. They're not going to capitalize on the success of All In to sign with the WWE. So that's my feeling. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
I agree. I don't know if you watch Being the Elite, the YouTube show, but there's like a clock ticking at the end of every episode, and it seems like the clock is set for 2 months and 17 days, which is the beginning of the year, like January 1st or January 3rd, 2019. And they had a little bit on this week when Marty Scurll's like, hey, I'm having a get together or something on January 1st or January 3rd, 2019. And the Bucks are like, oh, well, we're going to be tied up that day with Cody, and we have something big going on. And then Marty keeps saying, well, what's going on that day? What's going on that day? And you hear this stopwatch ticking in the background, time's counting down. But no, I think they're just working everybody, of course.
Yeah,
I don't see them leaving anytime soon. They've had way too much success. Why go play by somebody else's rules when you can kind of make your own rules? And they're doing just as well financially, I believe, as they could in WWE.
Yeah, come on. I mean, Joey Ryan, I'm not the biggest fan of Joey Ryan, but he said he wouldn't sign with the WWE because he wants to be his own boss. And that's what these guys want to do. They're not going to sign with the WWE. And the dummy who thinks that they're going to sign with NXT, why would Kenny Omega want to go to NXT? It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. He wants to wrestle in front of 200 people. Come on. That's not going to happen. People thinking that Omega and Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks are going to show up at NXT. It's not going to happen. It's, you got the Tama Tonga and Tongaloa and Jay White. Now they're the Bullet Club now. They're the Bullet Club now, and Cody and the other guys will be the Elite. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going down, man.
Yes.
Now,
I agree.
New Japan
Bullet Club and the Elite are going to break off.
Yeah, they'll be their own faction. I mean, there's going to be an All-In 2, and they're going to sell out probably a bigger arena. It's just, the future is bright for these guys, and they're going to be at Madison Square Garden for the New Japan Ring of Honor show. There's no way they're signing with Vincey Boy in the WWE. I'm sorry, they're not going to do it.
I agree.
Okay, I'm glad we agree. But I mentioned New Japan Pro Wrestling, so let's, I did see the first day of Road to Power Struggle, the Super Junior Tag League Tournament, and my gosh, man, Bushi and Shingo are one hell of a freaking amazing team.
I'm glad you said it, man.
Holy crap.
Were great. Holy crap is right. What a tag team.
It's like
their matches were fantastic this week.
It's like they've been teaming for years and years and years, man. I saw the match. I know you saw the second day. I didn't see the second day yet, but you could fill me in on that. But Bushi and Shingo against Shōnyo, outstanding, just absolutely outstanding. You can't get better than that. That was such a great main event on day one.
Oh, absolutely, man. Shingo Takagi, Shingo Takagi, I think is how you pronounce his name. Yeah, that guy's fantastic. I've only seen his work a few times. I don't really follow Dragon's Gate, but I've seen him in PWG, and I've seen him back in the day, a long time ago in Ring of Honor, and I've seen a couple of his stuff in Dragon Gate. But yeah, that guy is fantastic. He's lighting it up in New Japan, and they just look fantastic. Him and Bushi, that's the team to win it, I think, this year. They just look ridiculous. And the match with Shōnyo on night one was a hell of a main event.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you took an attempt at his last name, because I knew I would get it wrong. That's why I just said Shingo. So Bushi and Shingo. But damn, he's just, and the crowd was just so pumped for this entire card, man. I love like whenever they get to Korakuen Hall, my gosh, man. It's like I'm almost speechless right now. The whole show, like Kushida and Chris Sabin, they were a good tag team. I'm surprised they lost though. Surprised that they lost.
Yeah, they looked good.
When they worked really well together, but and I think I saw that they lost on night 2 as well, if I'm not mistaken.
They did, yeah.
Okay, so they're 0-2. But who do you think's gonna win? Who do you think's gonna win this whole thing? I'm saying Bushi and Shingo. That's who I'm going with.
I would have to probably. Yeah, Bushi and Shingo look good. Robbie Eagles and Taiji Ishimori looked really solid both nights. I think it's really cool they brought in Robbie Eagles as a new member of the Bullet Club. That's real cool. He's Australian. He's from Melbourne City Wrestling and Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. I've seen him a lot this year more than any other year. But yeah, Robbie Eagles is another guy that's really, really talented. And yeah, I guess he impressed the people in New Japan when they went to Australia earlier this year and did them shows in Melbourne and in Sydney and whatnot. And yeah, I guess New Japan brought him in. They brought him out. I guess it was Fale came out at, I think it was Power Struggle and or King of Pro Wrestling. I forget what show it was. I think it was King of Pro Wrestling back on the 8th of October. Yeah, Fale announced that they were bringing in Robbie Eagles to team up with Taiji Ishimori for the Super Junior Tag Tournament. So I got pretty excited with that. And they didn't disappoint. Their match was pretty solid too. That looks like a good team. Shōnyo looked impressive, but yeah, I think this year it's probably going to be Shingo and Bushi, man. That's the team to beat right there.
Yeah, no, I agree. Actually, Ishimori and Eagles, very, very good team. Oh, my internet just went dead, man. I was looking at something and it just went. Give me 1 sec. But that's a really good team. And it seems like Jushin Thunder Liger, his partner is always Tiger Mask. Is it just because they're legends, you think, or they always seem to be a team? I can't remember Jushin Thunder Liger tag teaming with anybody else, unless I'm mistaken. They always seem to be the.
No, they're like 0-5 for the past 5 years in the Super Junior Tag Tournament. He's been teaming with Tiger Mask, and they're like 0-5. They've never even won a match.
They've never won a match. Oh well, maybe.
No, I don't think they've ever won a match.
What do you think of Taguchi and ACH? That's a decent team there as well. I know they lost to. Forgive me if I pronounce them wrong, but Voladar Jr. and Sobriano Jr. I think that's how they. But that was a decent match as well, man.
Yeah, ACH and Taguchi always looked good together. They did real well. I think they made it to the finals last year against Sho and Yo, if I'm not mistaken. But ACH and Taguchi. ACH always impresses me when he goes to New Japan. It's like he really, kicks it up another notch when he, instead of just doing his normal stuff on the indies here in the States. Whenever he works New Japan, he really tries to impress. I'm surprised he doesn't work there, more full time, but they seem to bring him in for the Super Junior tournament and then the tag tournaments. And that's the only time you really see ACH over in New Japan. But yeah, whenever he's there, he really kicks it up a notch. And he's always looks good. Always looks good.
Let's talk about the first match. Was these? I love the Young Lions, Shota Umino, Ren Narita, Ayato Yoshida, Yota Tsuji, I think his name is, and Yuya Uemura. Also Toa Henare was in there. The future looks freaking bright for New Japan. Now these guys are going to be, I think all these guys are going to be stars one day, especially Shota Umino. That guy is just freaking amazing, man, for a young lion.
Yes, I agree. Absolutely. Their movesets are limited, and that's what makes it even more impressive. They're not even allowed to do all the stuff that, they can do. So the fact that they're having these really entertaining, hard-hitting, captivating matches with, limited repertoire just goes to show you, New Japan's definitely looking bright for the future. These guys are fantastic, and they keep getting these hungry young guys that just want to, get out there and work and impress. And absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And they had a lot of time to work. It seemed like the matches were, pretty lengthy, longer than I expected. So those on both nights, the Young Lions match, both nights were really, really solid.
Yeah, man. Like you said, they have a limited moveset. They're only allowed to use the Boston Crab for submission. They can't use anything else, I think. Every time you see a submission, it's just the Boston Crab. But the future.
It's the only time you'll really see a Boston Crab as a finish. You'll actually see somebody tap out to a Boston Crab, so that's kind of cool,
Yeah, remember Katsuya Kitamura?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, sure.
Yeah, you heard they revealed what the issue was with him. Did you see that online?
I did not know. Is he? How's he doing? Is he coming
no?
Back,
apparently he hurt his leg in a horrible scooter accident. And they said he may never fully recover from it. So that's, I know there was a lot of speculation that he suffered a concussion or what have you, but he suffered a leg injury in a scooter accident, and hopefully he'll recover because he went through the trial matches. I think it was 7 or 8 trial matches, which were I think fantastic. And
absolutely,
I loved Kitamura, and I hope he comes back. I hope we see him back soon. So I wish him well.
Yeah,
I wish Kitamura well.
I agree. That's another guy I really hope comes back because it looked like his future was real bright with the promotion. He got over with the crowd and he just looks fantastic. He's just really has the look, man. Like as a future heavyweight in New Japan, and real big powerhouse with a good moveset. And like I said, he got over really fast. He had some big wins. And it seemed like the sky was the limit for this guy. And then the accident happened. And, I wish him well. Hopefully he can come back and pick up where he left off.
What about Tanahashi and that 6-man? It looks like him and Kota Ibushi. There's a feud brewing on the horizon. Do you think Tanahashi is going to defeat Omega for the title at Wrestle Kingdom?
Wow. I don't know. I really, really don't know.
Yeah,
it would not surprise me if he did. I don't know how long they're going to let Kenny run with the title. I mean, everything seems to be going well with Kenny as the IWGP champion. Houses are up. Houses are the same. The New Japan World subscription seems to be doing good. Everything seems to be right around the status quo as it was with Okada as the champion. So I don't think their business has changed with, with a Westerner at the forefront. So, but I don't know, man. They might give Tanahashi the nod one more time, just to round out a career. Having him go over Omega would be huge at the Tokyo Dome in January. So it's very possible. It's very possible Tanahashi wins. So it would not surprise me if he wins. I really don't know, though. I don't know. I just don't know.
I think Kota Ibushi's going to have that. He's going to be that champion within a year or two. I think they're molding Kota Ibushi to be the IWGP heavyweight champion.
I agree with that. I think he may be the guy that takes it. If Tanahashi wins, I think Ibushi gets it again. I think he gets the title. Gets it next. Not again. I'm sorry. He's never been the champion before, but I think he gets it next.
Okay.
What do you think with Okada's new gimmick? We haven't really spoken about that. What do you like? Do you like this whole thing they're doing with Okada with the balloons and?
I don't know. I don't know.
White?
I like. I don't know. It's just that I like the old Okada. I like the Okada who was unbeatable. But I'm sorry, but what are these balloons representing? Do they represent anything, or what's the deal with the balloons? He just wants to hand them out to fans, or what's going on with that?
I don't know. I literally broke out laughing the first night when he came out with the balloons and his theme music changed and his red hair. I was just laughing like, what the hell is this? What is this? Where's my Okada? His music's different, and what's going on here? He's giving people balloons now. What is this? Yeah.
Did
he have some kind of breakdown? What's up with this?
I don't know. I know he's feuding with Jay White, and that's a great little feud that's going on there. But I don't know. This playing mind games or something. I don't know I don't know. I like the old Okada. I hope they scrap the balloon thing, and he goes back to being maybe he's confused because Gato is no longer with him. I don't know. But we'll see. I know he's not unbeatable anymore. He's lost a few matches, especially Tanahashi, but we'll see. We'll see what, I'm sure Wrestle Kingdom will get, Okada versus, Jay White, matchup.
I always thought Okada would make a great heel. Like, you've seen some of his heel tendencies in matches, not really in the Ospreay match, but in some of his matches, you can see where he has these heel tendencies where he kind of will kick the head of a downed opponent and kind of just do things a heel would do and try to get heat with the crowd, And I just think he'd make a great heel. Just would make it just stick with the old Rainmaker gimmick, but as a heel, the badass dude and cocky attitude. I always thought he'd make just a wonderful heel, but it seems they went the other way. They had Gato turn heel again, and Jay White, joins the Bullet Club. It's wow, I really didn't see that coming, but he never really fit in with the Chaos people anyway. It seems Chaos is kind of I don't know. He just didn't fit in with the group, it seemed like to me.
Okay, yeah, I know he initially turned down the Bullet Club, but what do you think of the new Bullet Club with Tama Tonga and Tangaloa leading the charge? I've always been a Gorillas of Destiny fan. I think Tama Tonga is immensely talented, incredibly talented. But what do you think? What do you think of the new Bullet Club?
I think Tama Tonga at the forefront of it is a good thing because he's great, especially his promos that he cuts. He's great on the mic. He's good in the ring. And maybe it's a chance for them to finally shine and get the credit they may have not gotten in the past. They've kind of been put in the back seat with the Bucks and Kenny Omega, and even going further back with even with AJ Styles and Prince Devitt. They were kind of in the back seat with these guys. So maybe this is the chance for them to finally step up and shine on their own. Hopefully they can keep the Bullet Club a marketable franchise for the company. But I don't know. I think with Cody and the Bucks and Kenny Omega and Ibushi, the Golden Elite, I just don't it's going to be tough for them to compete with them, especially with merchandise and popularity. But I wish them all the best. I'm a fan too, especially of Tama Tonga. I think he's just great.
So when Cody and the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega become the Elite, what happens with Yujiro Takahashi and Chase Owens? Are they the part of the Elite, or do they stick with Tama Tonga's Bullet Club? Because they're not really Elite, so I guess they would have to make a choice where they would want to go.
I've seen some 6-man tag matches with Ibushi teaming with Chase Owens and stuff in New Japan lately, so maybe they'll stick with that team. I don't know. It seemed like they got beat down as well. I can't remember. I think they got jumped as well by the Tonga faction.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess they'll stick with the Elite, even though they're not really part of the core group with Kenny and the Bucks and Cody Rhodes and whatnot. But yeah, I guess we'll have to see what happens with them. They've always kind of been in the backseat anyway with the Bullet Club, so I guess we'll have to wait and see how it all works out.
So how was night 2? I didn't see night 2, but I know you saw. So how was? Tell me a little bit about night 2, and then we could maybe we'll move on over to Impact Wrestling.
Night 2 was real solid. Shingo Takagi and Bushi won again. Their match was really, really solid. Sho and Yo picked up a victory. Their match was really solid. I think they went up against They went up against Kanemaru and Desperado, I think. That match was pretty solid, even though I'm not the biggest fan of Kanemaru and Desperado. That match was solid. Robbie Eagles and Taiji Ishimori, they won again, so they've got 4 points. And Takagi and Bushi got 4 points. Volador Jr. and Sobrano Jr., I believe they won as well. Night 2 was solid. I'm looking forward to this year. I liked the Mexican team, the CMLL guys. Volador Jr.'s match, those matches were really good both nights. But yeah, like I said earlier, the team to beat this year is probably Shingo and Bushi, man. They just looked really, really good, and they're so over with the crowd. Everybody's, really into Shingo coming to New Japan. It sort of seems like him stepping out of Dragon Gate and Neville coming into Dragon Gate, it all worked out well for everybody. New Japan picked up Shingo, and Neville went back to Dragon Gate, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to night 3, man. Night 2 was really solid.
You mentioned Neville. Actually, I think he's called Pac now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
how's he doing? How's he doing over there? Have you seen any matches with him in Dragon Gate?
No, I've only heard a promo that he cut. I only heard the promo that he cut. I hadn't seen on the matches. Dragon Gate's a little hard to find, unless you can catch some of their stuff on YouTube and whatnot, unless you have a subscription to their service, which I don't. But no, I haven't seen his work over there yet. I remember him there from before, years and years ago, but no, I haven't seen his work yet. But I did see his promo. He cut a hell of a promo, so that was cool, and he's going by his old name, Pac, again.
All right, man.
I think it's funny he ended up there. I thought that he may end up, maybe in New Japan or Noah, but no, he went back to his roots in Dragon Gate. So that's kind of cool.
No, we'll see him. We'll see him soon enough. We'll see him soon enough in New Japan Pro Wrestling. I know Impact Wrestling had a little interest. I mean, who wouldn't have interest in Neville? But I don't know if Impact Wrestling would be a place where he would want to go. I could see him in New Japan. But what do you think? You think he could show up at in Impact Wrestling?
Impact is on the rise. I think they've got a nice talent roster there with Don Callis, leading the charge and everything. And Impact has won me over completely. I wasn't really an Impact fan for the past few years, but I started watching it again a few months ago. Right around the Redemption pay-per-view, I think, is when I started watching it, and that pay-per-view blew me away. And then Slammiversary was fantastic. So, yeah, they completely won me over. I'm definitely an Impact fan now. I watch it every week, and don't miss the pay-per-views either.
So when somebody goes on Twitter or Facebook or any social media and tweets or posts on Facebook that Impact Wrestling doesn't have enough talent, they need more talent, how would you respond to that? I get pissed off when I see that, but how would you respond to that on October 20th, 2018, if somebody says that?
I think they have a pretty good core talent roster, man. You got guys that have been there for a long time, like Trevor Lee and Eli Drake. These guys are really, really solid, man. I'm a huge Trevor Lee guy. Rich Swann seems to be has a big spot in Impact now. Maybe they could showcase a few more guys, but no, I agree, man. I think Impact has a nice talent, not as big as WWE, of course. They can't really compete on that level, but no, I'm happy with what Impact's doing. They downsized quite a bit. You know, they cut back on a lot of the expenditures they didn't need, and I'm happy with the product. I enjoy it completely.
Yeah, I've been a fan of theirs, a devoted fan for a long time, and I think what they do right now is fantastic. Did you see you saw the show? What did you think of the show this week?
It was a good show. It was pretty cool. I didn't dislike anything at all. Seen what stuck out to me. The Ethan Page and Trevor Lee match stuck out. That was pretty solid.
Yep.
What do you think about the Ethan Page Matt Sydal little thing they're doing?
You know, I wanted Ethan Page in Impact for quite some time. I know he was Chandler Park, Joseph Park's nephew or cousin for a little bit. I didn't quite care for that character, but big fan of Ethan Page, and I mean him and Matt Sydal make a good little tag team. I don't know about this whole third eye thing though. I don't know. It doesn't appeal to me 100%, I guess. But you know, it's good to see Ethan Page. Like I said, Ethan Page, Trevor Lee was a great match. I don't like what they're doing with Trevor Lee though. He's enhancement talent is how they're using him. You hardly ever see him win. And I've seen some tremendous Trevor Lee matches on YouTube where he can go for like 40, 50 minutes and they're just fantastic. You know, there's just totally misusing Trevor Lee in my opinion.
I agree. Trevor Lee kills it every month in Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. And he's been doing so for like 4 years now. He's just had some of the most memorable matches I've ever seen in PWG. And, I think they have a star that they just are underutilizing. Trevor Lee's fantastic.
I mean, what's going to happen is what happened. Andrew Everett signed with. He's going to be with Ring of Honor. He's going to be at the. They're having a upcoming tournament, Survival of the Fittest, I think it's called.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. It's going to happen with Trevor Lee. He's going to get fed up. He's going to ask for his release. He's going to wind up either with Ring of Honor or NXT, unfortunately, and it's going to be Impact Wrestling's loss because they have a potential superstar on their hands right now, and they're just totally not using him the correct way.
Oh, that guy he can go. His movesets are fantastic, and he can really, really go. And he can cut a hell of a promo when you let the guy talk. Like he can get when he gets some serious heat in PWG, and he can just go, man. Like I said, I've seen some really, really good Trevor Lee matches over the years, and that's one of the only big disappointments I can say with Impact is they're just misusing the guy. It's cool to see him on TV, but yeah, like I agree, man. They're missing the boat with Trevor Lee.
One thing I loved about this week was Brian Cage against Rich Swann. I thought that was an absolutely fantastic main event. I was pulling for Rich Swann. I was hoping he would have squeaked out a victory, but I know they're not gonna put the title on him yet. But that was a terrific match.
I agree. Having a guy like Brian Cage as the X Division champion is really cool. It shows the versatility of the title, making it more comparable to like the Progress Atlas Championship or like the Never Openweight Championship in New Japan. Really showing that title means that just more than just the small guys can have that title. So I like Brian Cage as the X Division champion, and Brian Cage is another one, man. He can fucking go.
Yeah,
he's just great. And it's awesome seeing him in a promotion other than Lucha, because he's been in Lucha Underground for years now, and seeing him on Impact every week is real cool.
What do you think of Killer Cross? I'm a huge Killer Cross fan. I think he's done a tremendous job. And the match this week against Tommy Dreamer I thought was really good. I like how it ended, that the referee had to stop the match because Dreamer's neck was hurt. But I'd love to see Cage go one-on-one with Killer Cross. That's one of my Impact dream matches right now, Cage against Killer Cross.
Yeah, that would be a good one. I don't know a whole lot about Killer Cross yet. He's still new to me, but from what I've seen, I like him. I liked him as the enforcer for Austin Aries, which that's a whole other subject right there. But I liked him in moves with Austin Aries. I thought that was kind of cool. But yeah, I think Killer Cross has a lot of potential, and I know he's got like a legit shoot fight background from what they were saying on Impact this week. I think they said he was done some MMA or bare knuckle fighting up there in the Great White North. But yeah, I think Killer Cross has got a lot of potential for the future. The guy can go.
Well, Austin Aries, you mentioned Austin Aries. Do you think this whole thing with Austin Aries is just a work shoot, or do you think it's real, or what do you think this whole thing is? I think it's a work. I don't think it's real. I think, Austin Aries hasn't been released from Impact Wrestling. I was reading that he wants to do the Brian Pillman loose cannon storyline where he shows up at Ring of Honor and then he'll eventually show back up at Impact Wrestling and attack somebody. So I don't think it's real. I think it's a work, but what would your take be on it?
I would agree with that. You're probably right. You're probably hit the nail on the head. That'd be really cool if he did that. If he was the guy that could bounce between the promotions, if he could go back to Ring of Honor, do a little bit of work, and then pop back up in Impact, that would be real hot. And it would generate a lot of interest in him and both promotions. So if they could get that going, that would be fantastic. The only thing that really stood out to me was him completely no-selling Johnny Impact's finish. What's he called? What's his finish in Impact called?
Starship Pain.
Right. I know in Lucha it's called the End of the World, but Starship Pain, yeah, when he hits the split-legged moonsault. And then Austin Aries just no-sold it. He completely got up and just acted like he just no-sold it completely. 1, 2, 3, stood right up. And then yells at Don Callis and flips him off and walks out. The flipping off and walking out is one thing, but no-selling the finish completely, like, wow, he just completely no-sold that finish.
Yeah,
like,
that was pretty cool.
Fuck this. Yeah, I was just like, wow, that's what really stood out to me was him no-selling the finish. So, yeah. If that is all real, if it's legit, Austin Aries isn't doing himself no favors. I hope it's some sort of work shoot where he pops up a Ring of Honor. That'd be real cool because, like I said, it would generate interest in both promotions and generate a lot of interest in Austin Aries himself. I've always been a huge Austin Aries fan going back many, 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 many years. So I love the guy. I don't know. Just no-selling the finish is what got me. Just him just no-selling that.
Yeah, no, it was pretty cool. Well, he's been in Ring of Honor while he was the Impact Wrestling champion. So I think he had 2 or 3 matches with the Ring of Honor. So I wouldn't be surprised you see him at Ring of Honor, have a few matches, and then you really think that he's no longer with Impact, and then he's going to show up. He'll show up at Impact. There's rumors going around that at the next pay-per-view we're going to see Austin Aries against Chris Jericho, because I'm still convinced we're going to see Chris Jericho in Impact Wrestling. I was expecting to see him at Bound for Glory. But we're definitely going to see Chris Jericho sooner or later at Impact Wrestling.
You think so?
Yeah, oh yeah. He's buddies with Don Callis. He'll be there. He'll be. It's not going to be a long term deal. It'll be like a one, maybe 2 episodes and then 1 pay-per-view. But I think he's going to be there. I'm still convinced we're going to see him in Impact Wrestling.
Well, I certainly hope so. That'd be a nice shot in the arm for Impact. Hopefully they can get Chris Jericho. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, no.
I don't know. I don't know. I didn't think he was going to show up at this pay-per-view. I had a feeling it was going to be a Abyss that came out, especially since he went to the Hall of Fame the night before. But I know online everybody was, saying it was going to be Jericho and hoping it was going to be Jericho. But yeah, I'd seen that it wasn't Jericho. Yeah, I was like, it would have been cool if it was. But no, I hope you're right. I hope Jericho does do it. You
mean you were hoping that he was going to answer Eli Drake's open challenge?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
I gotta tell you, man, a lot of people thought that, and they had to be absolutely pissed off, disappointed when James Ellsworth came walking out. I thought that was terrible. I thought it was horrible.
Yeah, Ellsworth is horrible.
Yeah, apparently they wanted Joey Janela was supposed to be the person answering, but he was injured. He's injured, so he wasn't able to do it. They tried to get Low Key is being a jackass, said, no, I don't want to do it. Don't know why. He's turning down a payday. I think they tried there was another person that they tried and they couldn't get him. I think they were trying for Bully Ray, but Bully Ray said no, and then it couldn't be Tommy Dreamer because he was already on the card doing something else, and
right.
So they they settled for James Ellsworth, which is I'm surprised they just didn't I would have been more excited if they brought out the Brooklyn Brawler or something, but
Ellsworth isn't even from New York. He's from my hometown. He's from Baltimore, Maryland.
Yeah, I mean, it was supposed to be someone from New York, and they couldn't find anybody from New York.
He lives like 8 miles from my house. He lives like 8 miles from where I live. He doesn't live far from me at all. So I've seen him in the grocery store before.
Oh, James Ellsworth, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I've seen him like in a grocery store, in a ShopRite. It's a grocery store chain. I mean, yeah, I've seen him in ShopRite before. So, yeah, he lives not far from where I live at all.
Well, the crowd really gave it to him. They were not happy.
Yeah.
They weren't happy. They were. I think Eli Drake needs to become a babyface. I think he would be a great babyface. I mean, the crowd was behind him 100%. They wanted him to hit Ellsworth a gravy train. They wanted him to take out James Ellsworth. So they really got behind Eli Drake. I think he would be a good babyface.
I agree.
So they made some awesome signings this week. Actually, Impact. They signed Jordan Grace, who's I absolutely can't wait.
Oh wow! I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, they signed her to a 2-year contract. So she signed. She'll be debuting soon. She's actually going to be on the show next week that I'm going to see. They signed Willie Mack to a contract. And of course, Sami Callihan were signed with them, I think for 2 years. And of course they got Ethan Page. So the future's looking bright for Impact Wrestling. They made some really key signings this week.
Yeah, I've seen Jordan Grace before, and I know she really blew everybody away with her performance in the over budget battle royal at All In. Did you happen to see that?
You know what? I didn't. I saw All In, but I think the battle royal was on the pre-show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I did not see. That's the one match I did not see.
I think it's up on YouTube. If you get a chance, you should watch it. Jordan Grace really, really did a hell of a job. She did a couple spots with Brian Cage and a couple spots with Ethan Page as well in the battle royal that were just super impressive. She went toe-to-toe with Brian Cage, and I mean, it was fantastic. She hit like a Death Valley driver on I think probably on Ethan Page, and her and Brian Cage were just exchanging power moves. It was just really, really cool. And she really, really impressed the crowd. She got a hell of an ovation from the crowd, and everybody seemed to be into her. And I'm into her as well. I think that's really cool for Impact that they signed her. Good stuff.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to Tessa Blanchard defending her title against Jordan Grace. That's just going to be a tremendous match. And I hope they don't rush it. I hope it's a slow build to that. But that's a great addition to the Impact Wrestling Knockouts division. And Willie Mack, what can you say? I love Willie Mack. That guy is freaking awesome. We're going to see a lot more of Willie Mack on Impact Wrestling as well. So that's
cool too. I've been watching Willie Mack for a lot of years. I remember him just working with Kevin Steen back. That's the first time I ever saw him was years ago in Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, probably back in 2012, 2013. He had a match with Kevin Steen, and he actually beat Kevin Steen. And he another guy that's really impressive. Been working with Lucha Underground for the past couple of years, and so that's real cool. I'm glad that he's going to Impact as well. Lucha Underground's loss is Impact's gain, so that's cool.
Well, no, I mean, he'll still be on Lucha Underground. It's not an exclusive contract. He's just signing with Impact Wrestling, but he'll still be able to wrestle because he's wrestling for NWA, the 70th anniversary shows. He'll still be the Mac on Lucha Underground. So Lucha Underground's not losing Willie Mack, but just Impact Wrestling is gaining Willie Mack. That's good. That's what's going. Yeah, he's not. Impact's not the WWE where you got to sign an exclusive contract and you can't wrestle anywhere else. So he's free to go to all these other promotions if he wants to. Of course, except the WWE. But no, he's not going to lose any money. Willie Mack is going to have plenty of food on the table. So okay. What else? You know what? I wanted to bring this up about going back to New Japan. I was reading that when their contracts are up, Shinsuke Nakamura, Luke Gallows, Karl Anderson may be interested in returning to New Japan Pro Wrestling. I think that would be fantastic, especially, you got all these rumors of Omega and Cody and the Young Bucks going over to the WWE. No one's really talking about, Nakamura and Gallows and Anderson possibly going back to New Japan. I think that would be great. What do you think? You think Nakamura would want to go back?
I sure hope so. His run in NXT was very memorable, and he had some killer matches in NXT, but I don't think he took to the main roster very well at all. He had a couple memorable matches. His matches with AJ this year were a bit disappointing. I just don't think he's been sort of on a decline since coming on the main roster. So yeah, when his contract's up, I think the wise thing, would be to finish out his career back home in New Japan and being able to do what he wants to do and work the way he wants to work. That would be the smart move if I was Shinsuke Nakamura. I don't know what the money situation's like. I'm sure he could do very well for himself back in New Japan.
Oh,
and
come on! I
mean,
New Japan will pay him. New Japan will pay him plenty. He'll be fine. I would love to see Nakamura back in New Japan. I think WWE, like you said, I don't really watch WWE, but you said it. He's been on a decline. It seems to happen a lot with NXT wrestlers. They do awesome in NXT, and then they go to the WWE, and then they fall off the ends of the earth. I mean, what's Asuka doing right now? What is she? Is she even close to a title run, or is she going to get a title run, or is she on a decline as well? Because she was unbeatable in NXT, but I don't think you hear much about Asuka. I think she was
since her WrestleMania match, she hasn't been involved anywhere near a title picture on SmackDown. Right now, I think SmackDown is kind of revolving around Charlotte still, and what's her face, Becky Lynch. And then on Raw, it's all Ronda Rousey, Alexa Bliss, and the Bellas. So no, there's no place for Asuka anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there's going to be, they're going to release a lot of wrestlers. I wouldn't be surprised if you see like her name on one of those lists, because they don't know how to use them properly. I mean, like I said, Shinsuke Nakamura, the guy was amazing in New Japan. He comes to NXT and he's tremendous in NXT, and like you said, he's in WWE, and he's on a decline. And I think he just lost.
The crazy thing is they both won the Royal Rumble last year. Asuka and Shinsuke were the Royal Rumble winners last year, and then they both lost their WrestleMania matches, and then since then, they haven't really done anything with either one of them. They did this crazy gimmick with Nakamura as the U.S. champion, I think. I didn't see any of it, but I did see a bunch of pictures of him in this silly red, white, and blue attire. But no, man, they're just wasting. They're just wasting their talent, man. Just wasting these guys completely.
Yeah, no, I can see definitely Nakamura going back, but I think I was reading that Karl Anderson has kids that live here in the United States, so I don't know if they would want to go back. I think if any, I could see Nakamura going back, but I think it would be a tough sell getting Gallows and Anderson to go back to New Japan. Although I would love to see them. I'd love to see them go back there and take on my boys Lance Hoyt and David Boy Smith. The Killer Elite Squad, that would be, I know they've wrestled in the past, but I would love to see them go at it again. I could definitely see
he have a hot Asian wife, though? Doesn't he have like a hot Asian wife?
Who, Karl Anderson?
Yeah, Karl Anderson.
Oh, I don't know. I was reading that he has kids in the United States and he might not want to go back, but I could be wrong.
His wife's Japanese. His wife's Japanese.
Oh, well then they're going back then if they.
Yeah, he met his wife when he worked in Japan, because he always talks about his hot Asian wife, and she is definitely a hot Asian wife.
Okay, then I can see them going back. I can see them going back too, because I think I saw a clip of them once, and Luke Gallows was running around calling everybody a nerd or something like that. It just seemed like they didn't seem like the killers they were in New Japan. So I don't know. I love to see.
They were great in New Japan. They were fantastic.
Yeah.
And Karl Anderson had a lot of really good singles matches in New Japan as well. He had a lot of good singles matches.
Yeah, no, I hope when the contract is up, apparently I think it's at the beginning of 2019 that they all three of them decide that they want to go back to New Japan. And I think
that would definitely be New Japan's gain and WWE's loss.
Absolutely. I'm thinking Nakamura against Kota Ibushi, Nakamura against Kenny Omega. I'm thinking would be tremendous. I'm gonna, before I go to sleep tonight, I'm gonna pray that they go back to New Japan. That they go back to New Japan. Yes. Speaking of New Japan, I was at London Comic-Con. Windsor's Comic-Con, and I had to sneak these in. I actually got a Kenny Omega and Cody Rhodes Funko Pop figure, and I have them on my table right now. But I had to sneak them in so my wife didn't see it. But no, they're pretty. You collect these Funko Pop things, or are you familiar with them?
Oh, absolutely. I got several of them. My son has a hell of a Dragon Ball Z Funko Pop collection.
Okay.
I have the Young Bucks Funko Pop. I have several from the show Adventure Time, and I have quite a few of them. I have about a dozen or so Funko Pops. But the wrestling ones that I have the Young Bucks. They're the only wrestling.
Yeah, I wanted to get. I was looking for the Young Bucks. They didn't have the Young Bucks there, so I got Omega and Cody, and I think I read somewhere that they're coming out with another round of New Japan Funko Pop. So I would love to see.
I know Marty Scurll's getting one. Marty Scurll's getting the Funko Pop.
I was going to say Marty Scurll. I would love to see a Tetsuya Naito Funko Pop. I'd love to see a Minoru Suzuki Funko Pop, a Tomohiro Ishii Funko Pop. I hope they do them all. I would love to. I'd buy them all, just line them up on my table.
Marty with the mask or without the mask, with the sunglasses, however they do it. A Marty Scurll Funko Pop would definitely be a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. So, even Nakamura New Japan Funko Pop would be pretty cool. I don't know if he has a WWE one yet, but I don't think so. But hopefully, if he does get one, it'll be for New Japan.
I agree.
All right, there you go. Impact. I know we're jumping around, but Impact.
Speaking of Don Callis, did you see the? What was it? It happened up in Winnipeg at the Premier Championship Wrestling when Don Callis turned on Kenny Omega.
I think I read something about that. I didn't see the clip, but he turned on Kenny Omega.
Oh, he cuts a hell of a promo. Don Callis cuts a great promo on Kenny Omega, just basically putting Jericho over. And talking about the only reason Kenny Omega is on top and even has the IWGP title is because of his match with Jericho. And if he wouldn't have had the match with Jericho, which all was done because Don Callis orchestrated the whole thing, if that hadn't happened, then Kenny Omega wouldn't be the IWGP champion right now. And then he puts down Winnipeg. He says that you're the IWGP champion and you come to some crap wrestling promotion in some crap town on your day off from New Japan to do a spot show in Winnipeg, which is funny because and he says that the only three wrestlers from Winnipeg that mattered were Roddy Piper, Jericho, and Don Callis himself. Oh, it's great, man! It was a hell of a promo. And at the end of it, Don Callis attacks him and puts the boots to him and starts beating the shit out of Kenny Omega.
Oh man,
great.
I'm gonna have to see that. Is it on YouTube?
Yeah, I actually seen a clip of it on Twitter. They have a whole video of it. Yeah, I'm sure it's up on YouTube. But yeah, it's out there. You'll be able to find it.
All right, I'm going to check that out, man. As soon as we're done, I'll check that out, man. And one thing you got to check out, man. I know we spoke about it before we hit the record button. Major League Wrestling, man. You got to see. I think you're 2 or 3 episodes behind, but man, I discovered them about 3 weeks ago, 3 or 4 weeks ago. I haven't been this excited since I first saw the original ECW back in New York, but this promotion is absolutely freaking phenomenal. The match that got me hooked was, I don't know if you saw it, Jason Cade against Myron Reed. Did you see that match?
Yeah.
You saw that? You saw that match?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, well, Myron Reed, it was, when it was...
From a few weeks ago, right?
Yeah, it was they had the War Games ring, they had 2 rings, but he leaped from one ring to another and hit a cutter on Jason Cade. That was absolutely out. That move made me a Myron Reed fan, and it made me a Major League Wrestling fan. Absolutely fantastic. Just promote, like this week we had El Hijo de LA Park against Sammy Guevara. I hope I pronounced it right. Great match. My man, I don't know, you familiar with Barrington Hughes?
Yeah, I've seen him on
man.
MLW, yeah.
That's my guy right there. Barrington Hughes, and formed a new team with Kodo Brazil called the Smash and Dance Connection. They beat the Samoan, they defeated the Samoan Island tribe this week, Samu and Lance Anoa'i. So that was a decent match. In the main event, Shane Strickland and Filthy Tom Lawler, another great match there. But Major League Wrestling, man, they have They got a lot of house shows coming up. They're in New York. They're in Chicago. There's talk of them coming to Canada. So they're really growing pretty quickly right now, and they're going to be a major player. Definitely in the world of professional wrestling. I'm a huge fan. I really hope they come up here to Windsor. You know, even if they go to Toronto, I'll drive 4 hours to see them but it's great stuff. You can't miss an episode of that, man.
Yeah, when I listen to Conrad and Tony Schiavone's podcast every week, so I like hearing about the old NWA, WCW stuff, and I heard that Tony Schiavone was going to be doing the play-by-play, and I was like, oh, well, that's cool. So that's what really kind of piqued my interest in the show. And then, you know, been a Tom Lawler fan since his UFC days, and I like Shane Strickland a lot. I was like, wow, they've got a good talent roster. And then, you know, Low Key's there, and Sammy Callahan, and they've got a hell of a lot of good talent there. So I was like, wow, you know, I'll definitely check these guys out. And a couple weeks before the War Games show is I think is when I really started getting dedicated to it. And they brought in Teddy Hart and, you know, Harry Smith, and reformed the Hart Foundation with Coleman Jr. So like, yeah, man, MLW is the shit.
Yeah, no, like I said, I was going to say,
like a real old school kind of feel to it, you know? It's got like an old school wrestling feel to it. That's what I really like about it.
Yeah, and like I was going to mention Teddy Hart, Davey Boy Smith Jr., Brian Pillman Jr., the Hart Foundation, other guys on there. They got Pentagon Jr., Ray Phoenix,
right.
Maxwell Jacob Freeman. I'm a big fan of his. Who else is there? I mentioned Barrington Hughes, Rich Swann wrestles for them.
I just watched Rick Swann and Teddy Hart a few hours ago. Yeah,
that was a really, really good match. I'm surprised Swann lost, but that was a really good match. Have you seen PCO? He's not human. PCO. That guy is nuts.
Yeah, I seen one of his matches in MLW. PCO is great. Yeah, it's really cool that Carl Ouellette's getting this kind of attention at this stage in his career, and then, you know, the videos that he puts out there are just ridiculous. You know, he's getting shocked by like car batteries and just doing all this crazy stuff with that guy, that trainer of his, Destro or whatever his name is, Despero or Destro. Those videos are fantastic, and he's picked up a lot of attention throughout the whole wrestling world. So that's really cool that Carl Ouellette's getting this kind of traction at this stage in his career after being kind of, you know, I don't want to say irrelevant, but not in any kind of spotlight for so long. And then just going out there and having the kind of matches that he does, you know, at his age and his size, you know, it's just fantastic. That's really cool. And I love the PCO gimmick, man. This guy's fantastic. You're right. PCO is definitely not a human being. This guy's a machine.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. And they got Mike Perot as well, another tremendous talent, Koto Brazil. But they're becoming a major player really fast. I think they're even signing wrestlers now to longer term contracts. I know Shane Strickland signed I think it's a 2-3 year deal with them. Not exclusive, but it's a 2-3 year deal with them, and they're getting other contracts out there. So they're becoming a major player in the world of professional wrestling. And you know, I'm very excited. I'm very excited about this promotion. Hugely excited about this promotion, and my Fridays now are waiting for 8 o'clock so I could watch Major League Wrestling. That's my Fridays now.
That's cool.
Yeah. All right, man.
I don't get the network that it's on, so I'm usually like a week behind. I catch it on YouTube. So
it's on YouTube the next day. It's on Saturday. The new episode's on YouTube Saturday at 6 o'clock. Or 6:05. Cool. So you get the new episode. They're smart. They're not dumb, because they know that everybody's going to be getting this channel. I think it's B in Their Sports, I think it's called, which I luckily get up here in Windsor, but not everybody gets that. So the next day they just put it on YouTube, because everyone gets YouTube, and you know, just watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, I agree, man. I binge watched a bunch of the episodes and pretty much caught up from the beginning with Strickland and Riddle when Strickland won the title, and pretty much watched every episode. So yeah, I'm a big fan.
All right.
And the War Games is cool too. Yeah. I really like what they did with the War Games. It was a lot of fun. It had a real old school feel to it.
Yeah.
That's what I like about it. They have a lot of the new school wrestlers with an old school feel to it.
Yeah, that's what draws me to it as well, man. And like I said, looking forward to many more episodes, man. It's great stuff, man. So Impact Wrestling, let's go. We're jumping around, which is cool, but Impact Wrestling, they're moving the time to 10 p.m. From 8 o'clock. I think it's because you got Thursday Night Football, you got the ratings are a little down, and I also think that Pop TV maybe they've kind of given up on Impact Wrestling. But what do you think? I think it's not the best move for Impact to be on a 10. I know a lot of people are complaining about it. So what do you think? Would you stay up till 10 o'clock to watch Impact Wrestling?
Yeah, I would. I personally would. I'm just a fan like that, so I would. But I don't know if your average, your hardcore fan's going to do it, but your average viewer, it probably isn't. Thursday night isn't really a good night anyway for wrestling, especially because a lot of people are watching Raw and SmackDown on Mondays and Tuesdays, and then you got NXT on Wednesdays, so you could be a little burnt out by Thursday if you're watching everything that comes out. But no, I don't normally watch that. I don't even watch NXT on Wednesday usually. So by the time Thursday comes around, I usually am pretty ready for some new wrestling. I usually watch all my wrestling from Thursday over the weekend. That's how I watch my wrestling. But yeah, for me, it doesn't really matter. I'm still going to watch it regardless. But for the average, for your casual viewer, no, it's probably a bad idea.
Well, people are complaining, it's up on 10 o'clock, it's on too late, I won't be able to watch it. A lot of these people, all they need to do is get the Global Wrestling Network app and they can watch it for free, because they usually release Impact episode a day or two after it appears on Pop TV. It shows up on the Global Wrestling Network, and you just download the app and watch it for free. You can watch it there. So that's, like I said, it's not the best time slot, but people whining and crying about it that, I can't stay up and watch Impact, it's on at 10. So get a DVR or just watch it on the Global Wrestling Network. Not that big of a deal.
No, I agree.
Yeah, that's what I do. I watch it on the Global Wrestling. I watch it now Saturday mornings. Watch it on the Global Wrestling Network, because, like you said, there's so much wrestling to watch. It's like with New Japan, with this Super Junior Tag. The Junior Tag Tournament. I almost said Super Juniors. The Junior Tag Tournament is going on. You can't watch every single. It's like they're like 3 hours long. You can't watch every single episode or card that they show on New Japan World. So you watch it as you can, right?
After the G1, man. After the G1 tournament, I was like burnt out because I really went like balls deep into the G1 this year. I was waking up early, watching the G1s before work,
Oh yeah, so that's what I was doing. I was waking up, I would set my alarm. I would get up I think one day I had to get up at 3:30 in the morning so I could watch the card. But as for getting up before work, I wasn't doing that, but I was getting up on the weekends if they had the weekend card. Or I would, the weekends, and everyone go to sleep, I drink 2 cups of coffee and I just stay up for 3-4 hours and just watch it when everybody was sleeping. So that's how I would do it, because you can't miss New Japan. It's the best wrestling in the world, so you gotta do what you can to watch it, man.
Yeah, I was a little burnt out on it after the G1, so I didn't watch anything for a couple weeks there, and then All In happened, and I was pretty invested in All In, so I watched that, and I kind of stepped back for a week or two there to recharge the batteries, and caught the King of Pro Wrestling card and everything, and now I'm ready to go for the road to Wrestle Kingdom. They're not going to have too many more big shows until January, so that's they're going to build the Wrestle Kingdom now.
Yeah, so. I'm looking forward to Wrestle Kingdom. So I'm going to ask you right now: Does Evil go into Wrestle Kingdom as the IWGP Intercontinental Champion, or does Chris Jericho retain the title?
I think Jericho is going to retain the title and go into Tokyo Dome as the champion. Probably drop the belt in January.
Okay, I was kind of thinking that maybe they might give it to Evil, but
he deserves it. He's a hell of a hand. He deserves it. Great worker. I love Evil. But I just don't. I think they'll give Jericho a little bit more time with it. This is his first and only defense, the title. I don't know if he's going to sign up for another match. So maybe he will drop the title. But the way I feel, I think he'll probably go into the Tokyo Dome as the champion. I don't know if we'll have a rematch with Naito or not.
I was just going to say that. I'm thinking that you're probably right. He's probably going to drop it back to Naito at Wrestle Kingdom. I think you're probably right there.
That's how I kind of see it, but you never know.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But, whatever happens, the real winners are me and you, right?
Yeah, I just seen that the Jericho Cruise, they're going to have the Y2 Jackson, or is it what do they always say? Y2 Jackson, or is it the Bucks of Jericho versus the Bullet Club, or versus Kenny Omega and Cody and Marty is going to be on the Fight app, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was wondering why, the Young Bucks are siding with Chris Jericho against Omega, Cody Rhodes and Marty Scurll. So I was wondering what's going on there. Why are the Young Bucks, battling the Bullet Club? Did something happen that I missed, or was something on their YouTube show that happened? What's going on there? Do you know?
Really, I guess it's just to hype the Jericho Cruise, just to make it, that much more special. They're going to have like the Impact versus ROH stuff. They're going to have stuff that you're not going to be able to see anywhere else, and they're going to do it on this Jericho Cruise. So I think that's what it is, just to hype, for the fact that you're only going to be able to see these certain things happen on this Jericho Cruise, like the Impact versus ROH stuff, and the Bucks of Jericho, or is it Y2 Jackson against the Elite? So that's really cool, man. They did this funny bit on Being Elite this week with Jericho and the Bucks, and then Kenny Omega and Cody were there. So they did this whole thing back and forth. It was a lot of fun, really hyping it up. And I think this whole thing with Don Callis attacking Kenny Omega over the weekend really was another thing to hype up the Jericho Cruise, because it's in like a week or two. At the end of October is when the Jericho Cruise actually is happening. So, yeah, this is they're really doing a good job of hyping it up, and the fact that it's going to be available to order, I may just have to order this.
Yeah, but the thing is, I was gonna, but they're not making. I don't think they're gonna be showing streaming the Impact versus ROH, Impact versus Ring of Honor.
No, I think you're right. I think they're
not streaming that. That's the match I want to see. I want to see that. But
yeah, I agree. I really would like to see the Impact versus ROH stuff. That's what I really.
Yeah, I think they're just streaming the Alpha Club versus Bullet Club and the Sea of Honor tournament. I think that's all they're streaming. But I would love to be on that cruise, man. I wish I had enough money to fly down there and I think it's from Florida, and cruise to the Bahamas. I wish I had enough money. I would love to be on that cruise, man.
Yeah, my big wrestling expenditure this year, I'm going to try to go to WrestleCade in November down in Winston-Salem. I went a couple years ago, and been trying to save up a little bit of money to go back down there, so that'll be kind of cool. Hopefully I can make that happen.
Just imagine you're on the cruise, and it's like 2:00 in the morning, and you head to the bar, or you just go for a walk on the deck, and you just bump into Kenny Omega and Cody Rhodes and you just start talking about the Big Dipper and stuff. That's gonna be so damn cool, man. Because you're on a cruise. It's not like you're in different states or different countries. You're on a boat, so you're definitely gonna run into somebody. That's not one, but you're gonna run into a lot of wrestlers eventually.
Somewhere, right? You're gonna run into somebody. Jim Ross, you're gonna run into somebody there. Marty Scurll, whoever. But yeah, you're gonna run into somebody. So that makes it cool. It's gonna be a very intimate setting, and everybody that's going, I'm very envious. They're very, very lucky.
Yeah, if he does have a second Joker Cruise, I might consider going. But how could they top this first one? They got so many great stuff, so many great matches going on in this first one. But if there's a second one, I might consider going.
Agreed.
Maybe we'll go together. Maybe we'll have Nick from the Tapped Out Wrestling Podcast Network pay for our tickets, and we could go.
There you go.
There you go. All right, man. Anything else you want to talk about before we wrap this up? Or?
No, I guess that's the only major stuff in the world of wrestling this week. The only thing we didn't touch on was that new national championship belt. What are your feelings on that?
Oh yeah.
National championship belt.
I think it looks good. It looks like the old U.S. belt. Remember in the late 70s, early 80s. I remember Ric Flair had the United States Championship title, and that was basically the same belt he was wearing with the gold imprint, the gold, what was it? It was a USA, picture of
like
USA, the gold thing on the belt.
States,
yeah,
right.
sorry, I'm just, my mind's just not there. I'm staring into the eyes of my Kenny Omega Pop Funko doll, so I lost I lost my train of thought there for a second. But
Kenny does have those hypnotizing eyes. What are you going to do?
Yeah, no, but it looks pretty cool. It looks pretty cool. What do you think?
I don't know. I don't hate it. That's for sure. I don't hate it. It definitely has a touch of the old school to it. So that's always cool. It sort of reminds me of the belt that Ricochet's wearing in NXT, like their NXT US title, or whatever the hell it's called, the way Adam Cole won. It looks sort of like that just because it has that continental United States design to it, but it definitely has a more of the old school NWA feel to it. No, I think it's cool. It works.
Yeah, no, so, today's Saturday, and the show is tomorrow, which is Sunday, but this show is going to be released after the NWA 70th anniversary. So, who do you think is going to win that title? Who do you think is going to walk out the national champion? I think it's going to be Willie Mack or Perot, but who do you think?
Sammy Guevara or Willie Mack.
Okay, there we go. And just if you're listening, those are our predictions. And since we're making predictions, Cody Rhodes, does he retain or lose the NWA title?
If they're smart, Cody Rhodes retains.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking he's going to lose it or drop it back to Aldis. But you're right. If they're smart, they keep it on Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, if he can work some NWA shows with his Ring of Honor and New Japan schedule, then yeah, Cody Rhodes should keep that belt for as long as he possibly can. He'll bring nothing but, more eyes to the promotion. Cody's over as hell. And, not that Nick Aldis is a bad wrestler, Aldis is definitely has gotten, he's definitely improved, and I really enjoyed the match. They had it all in. I thought it was cool. I watched it twice actually. So, yeah, I think Cody retains maybe for a little while longer, but it wouldn't surprise me if Aldis won. But yeah, if they're smart, Cody stays the champ for as long as they can have him.
Okay, there you go. So again, anyone listening, that this show is going to be released after the NWA 70th anniversary. So hopefully our predictions are correct. So there you go. So all right. So that's it, man. That's it for this week. And I don't know. Any final thoughts? I know I might have asked you that already, but anything else, or you think we're going to wrap this up?
Guess we're going to wrap it up. I'm going to stay tuned to New Japan this week to keep up with the Super Junior Tag Tournament.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's it. Just looking forward for another week, and I guess we'll see each other next week. Right. And do this next week.
All right. Cool. And yeah, as soon as I'm done, as soon as I take it off record, I'm going to watch night 2 of the Super Junior Tag Tournament. So that's my night tonight. So, all right.
Well, you definitely enjoy it.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to it. So anyway, this has been the Pro Wrestling Personified Podcast. I'm your host, Louis Carlin, and I want to thank Luke Dorsch for joining me this week. Thank you, Luke.
You're welcome. You guys can check me out on Twitter and check out my YouTube. I got a bunch of tons of classic wrestling up my YouTube. Just go on YouTube and look for Charm City Center, and you'll see a shit ton of old school wrestling on my YouTube. So check it out. Give me a follow.
All right, sounds good. I didn't even, I was just gonna say, why don't you plug something, but you must have read my mind and you went ahead and you plugged your YouTube channel. So that's cool. Yeah, but check it out. Charm City Center. Check him out on YouTube. He's got a pretty cool, YouTube channel there. So, that's it. So until next week, so you coming back next week or?
Absolutely, man.
Okay.
Witness for the world.
Okay, there we go. So next week, me and Luke will be back, and we will be talking more professional wrestling right here on the Pro Wrestling Personified Podcast. I almost said the Impact Wrestling Podcast. I almost screwed it. See, I'm still used to the old format. I'm still getting used to the new format. I almost said the Impact Wrestling Podcast. So I still got to get used to that. But anyway, this has been the Pro Wrestling Personified Podcast. I'm your host, Louis Carlin, and again, thank you, Luke Dorsch. We'll be back next week, and until then, take care, bye bye, and stay safe, everyone. So long, bye bye.